Okay, our Grand Marshal this year is Ed Dow, and I'm going to read you a little something about Ed, a good friend of mine. Ed Dow was enlisted in the Navy in 1943. He had joined and enlisted with his 4 brothers, so there was 5 of them in World War II. He served on a seaplane tender where the USS Pablo was on the famous MacArthur March from Australia to the Philippines. Landings included Pearl Harbor, Brisbane, New Guinea, Linguine Gulf, and the Philippines. Ed received the following awards: the American Campaign Medal, the Asiatic Pacific Theater Medal with 2 bronze stars, Combat Action Medal, Purple Heart, World War II Victory Medal, Philippine Liberation Medal with 2 bronze battle stars, Philippine Presidential Unit Citation, and a Navy Good Conduct Medal. Ed Dow is with us today, and it's our honor.
There are a lot of American heroes among us. Over 1 million American heroes have perished since the Battle of Lexington and Concord, fighting to preserve our freedoms and make this country the greatest nation ever to have blessed this earth. I am honored right now to recognize one of those American heroes. You may know him as a police officer in Sandwich, but William Patton has just returned from serving his country in Iraq in our armed forces. Join me in recognizing our hometown boy, William Patton. Welcome home.
Thank you. First, I want to thank everybody for coming here and honoring the military for their services. Don't have a whole lot to say. Iraq was an interesting experience, to say the least, and I would gladly go again if called to do so. Again, thank you very much.
On September 11th, 2001, as we were going about our peaceful days as being proud Americans, raising our families, running our businesses, going to our employment, on that peaceful morning when this nation was attacked without warning, without cause, one of our hometown boys, Captain Gerald F. DeConto, was doing his duty, serving at the Pentagon, serving every day, and we're fortunate to remember him today and all those who have perished on September 11th and since. And I'd like to take a moment to recognize a Gold Star mom, the mother of Captain Gerald F. DeConto, Patricia DeConto. I'd also like to recognize another lady, Barbara Knight, retired Navy captain. Barbara Knight was born in Pennsylvania, a graduate of the Chatham University in Pittsburgh, and earned her master's degree at the University of Southern California. She was sworn into the Navy as an ensign in 1952. She resigned her regular Navy commission in 1956 and accepted a commission in the Naval Reserve, where she served 22 years. Attaining the rank of captain. Now I have to tell you, back in those days, captain was the highest rank that a female could achieve. I have full confidence that if she was serving today, it would be the rank of admiral. She is one of just a few women who have ever achieved, back in that time period, the rank of captain serving our nation. Another hometown American hero, Captain Barbara Knight.
Thank you, Ralph. Representative Perry, fellow Sandwich officials, member of Post 188, fellow veterans, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining together on this beautiful day on Cape Cod to remember our fellow Americans who have lost their lives in the service to our great nation. Our presence here today demonstrates our commitment as individuals and as a nation to ensure that these soldiers, Marines, sailors, Coast Guardsmen, and airmen who have given their lives in the defense of our freedoms and our way of life are never forgotten. Many of us will go from this place to continue our observance of this day in more individual ways, specifically honoring individual service members to which we've had a personal connection. It is right and fitting to observe Memorial Day on both an individual and a national level. On the individual level, there are those among us today who have lost a family member, a friend, or a neighbor while they were serving in the armed forces of the United States. There are others assembled here today who have lost comrades in arms. While these people remember their loved ones every day, Memorial Day is a day for every American to join them and support them in their individual loss. For me, Memorial Day has become about Eddie, Brian, and Bill, my brothers in arms. I am pleased that you are here today to honor them, along with the many thousands of other servicemen and women who have given of themselves so freely to protect us. On the national level, we gather in small towns such as Sandwich and in our nation's capital to honor our fallen warriors. The men and women who have fallen in the current war on terrorism serve for the same reasons as those who answered the call at Valley Forge, Gettysburg, the River Marne, Normandy, Incheon, Dak To Province, and hundreds of other places throughout our history. While the tactics and terrain may differ from prior conflicts, the objectives of our service members remain constant: to defeat those who would deny us and our allies of our freedom, and to bring their buddies home, even if that means risking their own life. I'm reminded of a recent talk by Rabbi Harold Kushner that my wife Debbie and I recently attended. Many of you will recognize him as the author of the book, When Bad Things Happen to Good People. In discussing his latest book, Conquering Fear, Living Boldly in an Uncertain World, Kushner discussed the fear of terrorism and how important it is that we as individuals and a nation strive to conquer this fear. He gave us examples of what he felt were appropriate reactions to this fear, as the British response to the London Underground bombings and the Israeli reaction to the many bus bombings in their country. In these cases, the citizen reacted in just the opposite manner that their enemies expected, by filling the trains and filling the buses to capacity in the wake of these attacks, and showing that they would not be frightened into changing their way of life under the threat of terrorism. They set an example for the world to follow. I submit to you that this can and should be our reaction to the threat of future terrorist attacks as well. By refusing to give in to fear, we honor the memory of those who have sacrificed for our freedom. We also support today's troops in the field in the most meaningful way possible. In short, we keep the spirit of Veterans Day alive throughout the year and bolster today's American warriors in their mission to end the threat we now face and renew our hope for a more peaceful future. I thank you for being here today. Your participation in this Memorial Day observance is a source of support and comfort to the people who have had experienced the personal loss, and is an affirmation that the American people will uphold our duty to never forget.